Hi guys, and thanks for tuning in for this very special review of the very limited General Kardus 17. My very first video where I used the StiffUpperLip logo was the General Kardus Weekend 2016. And to this day it's still the best snus I've ever tried. So to say I'm excited to try this is a bit of an understatement. That one was also called General, although I didn't get any general characteristics in it at all. To me it was very specific. It was one of a kind really, and a really robust, really balanced, wonderful snus that got really better with aging as well. So it will be very interesting to see how this compares to that one. I've actually got the 16 here, and I've got some snus left in it, so I can compare. Not an awful lot left in that one, but enough to compare. Now this is very aged, of course. Just like with the 16, this is not the cheapest snus in the world, although the 16 came in 150 gram metal tin like that. This one is actually 100 grams, so that means it's a little bit cheaper as well. It costs 699 Swedish kroner. So I worked out that it works out at about a 5% increase in the price per gram compared to last year. Actually the same price in American dollars because of change in exchange rate. So just like then, it comes to a cool $33 per normal size can of 42 grams. So you get between 2 and 2.5 normal cans in this one. So yeah, I think it's still worth it for me to buy it, because I really want to compare it to the 16. And thank you very much to Bengt Wiberg of the now patented sting-free snus for picking this one up for me in Stockholm. You can get, at the moment, you can get them in the Swedish Match stores in Sweden, and also now through their new e-commerce site. And I believe you might be able to get it soon if you're lucky on some other online sites internationally, but for now I believe it's Sweden only, and it's very limited. This one they made 3,000 of. The new one, the 17, only 1,500, so I'm very glad that I got one. And I did an unboxing video for my Facebook channel, the StiffUpperLip Facebook channel, and showed it a little bit of this box here, which is 3D printed, which we'll get to in a minute. You actually get the back side of it where the warning text is also printed. And I haven't checked this yet actually. It says 810 of 1,500, and it was produced on the 30th of January 2017. I believe it's got a little bit of aging before they released it as well, so I don't know if that's any change to the 16. Also with it, this one came in this little bag here, Kardus 17 on there, and it comes with a little booklet, which we will get into in a minute. There's quite a lot to go through about this snus, so let's start. The 16 had tobaccos from Argentina, the USA, India and Guatemala. And this one only has one of those countries and then some other ones. So it has got tobacco from India still. So let's have a little look at the map, shall we? It has dark air-cured tobacco from Extremadura, Spain. It also has Malawi Western tobacco from India that is also dark air-cured but sun-dried. And then it has Filipino heat-dried light-colored Virginia tobacco. So the Spanish tobacco should be dark and powerful, should have cocoa and dried fruits, and possibly a bit of acidity to that one. Then the Indian tobacco, because it's been sun-dried, it gives it a bit of a lighter tobacco, but it should still be pretty powerful with spiciness, and that one is also a little bit bitter, so it should provide some sort of robustness to it. Then the Filipino Virginia tobacco. It starts off light, but then it goes through the heat curing process. So it's called a semi-Cavendish method, and that makes the tobacco go almost black. So that should be a powerful little number. So look forward to trying this combination of tobaccos. So they're trying different tobaccos for the different Karduses, going around the world and trying to find the best blend. And I believe this Kardus was slightly delayed. It should have been released in December 2016. But I think they weren't really happy with the combination of the tobaccos. But now I guess they are. So that's the tobaccos. And there's so much more. We got like how the box was actually made. And also there's a collaboration. And all of that is to be read in this booklet that I will briefly go through with you. If you want a word-by-word translation, my friend Chad at snuby.com has provided one, so I will give a link here to that one. But here are the essentials of this booklet. So here's the booklet with all its pages, and that's the translation. So General Kardus is Swedish Match's most luxurious snus, and this year they try to stay in Swedish latitudes but try something new. And it's a collaboration with Hernö Gin, Sweden's only pure gin distillery, and they won Best Gin Distillery in the World 2016 actually. And about these tobaccos, it should provide a lighter taste than previous Karduses, with herbal notes and citrus. It's been made in collaboration with Teenage Engineering, who designed the box, and 3D printed by Swedish Acron, both Swedish companies. It's an all lamina snus, single cut. It's been sliced 0.72mm slices and no stems used, only leaves. Phew, so much info to go through. But it's really cool with these special snuses, all the different tobaccos and production techniques. It's really interesting, I find. And how about this box, 3D printed? It's much more modern than last year's, although that one is probably a little bit classier maybe. So let's not wait any longer, shall we get into it? If you saw my unboxing, I'll try to get into this, and it's a bit tricky. It's like you go like that. You have to find a slot there. It's only one place, you know. It will open and then you kind of wriggle it a little bit. The nicotine in this one is 13 milligrams per gram. And as I said before, you get 100 grams in this one for $78. And the snus comes straight into this one, unlike last year's. There it is, guys. Look at that thing of beauty. It has got that single cut. Looks very similar to last year's. Very dark tobacco. So maybe that's from the Philippine tobacco. That's supposed to be really dark. And it should have some dried fruit notes in there. It should have cocoa, and also because of the collaboration with Hernö Gin, it should have juniper taste to it as well. So we'll see how all of this blends. I get the smell already, and it's just wonderful. It is very similar to 2016 initially. That's the first thing I get. It's so well-rounded. There's a full-bodied smell. There's a lot of it, but really beautifully balanced. Very dark tobacco. And you don't get stinging from the gin. The Kardus 16 had lingonberry in the mix. I get a similar smell here with that sort of foresty, earthy, dark tobacco. It is not specifically gin forward at all. I don't get a lot of juniper initially here. But maybe it smells a little bit more initially than the 2016 did. That one took a while to mature, really. This one I think has a lot of smell straight away. Beautiful smell. And a really wonderful consistency as well. It's really has a good moisture level to it, but it's single cut, so you see it looks different to the ground snoozes that we're used to. And you know, I've learned that it's better just to put it in like this. Go a little bit like that, because just mula in it, as we say in Sweden. It's, if you do that, it releases more flavor. The harder you pack it, the easier it is for it to fall apart, actually. So I recently learned that if you just whack it in like that, it just forms to your lip, and it will actually stay in there better. And also, it's not tightly packed, so it just spreads the flavor better, actually. So it might be a little bit dirty first, not beautiful, but if you do that, you really get a lot of taste, and I get a lot of taste already. Tasting very good, but I'll get back to you as usual in the second part of this review and tell you more detailed about what I think about the taste and how much I like it. See you then. Another Prilla in, and guys, this is lovely stuff. Kardus as a name means, as Conny Andersson told me when I made my snus museum special, something that's wrapped in paper. And that's how snus used to be sold. And now Swedish Match are actually replicating that at the Snus Museum and at their own stores. So you can buy your favorite snus as an old-fashioned Kardus. And back in the day, they bought the Kardus and then they filled up their own container. And they could look really funny with the snus. Now, 2017, it looks very different to that. So I've been comparing this now to 2016. That one started off quite shy. Now, over a year later, it tastes mainly of sort of fallen leaves that's been lying on the ground for a while. It's lost a lot of its berry character. This one does have more of a freshness, but I would say it tastes possibly like a slightly matured Kardus 16, so I find that interesting. Mainly though, it's about the bold, harmonious, balanced tobacco. It's a really earthy snus, so it's mainly about that more than anything else. It does have some herbal notes in there, and I get like a foresty taste, just like with the 16. So that could be the berries, in this case juniper berries, which you use to make gin. So the gin and the juniper, they are there, but they're very much muted in the background. And it's actually a snus that I find hard to pinpoint specific flavors because it's so harmoniously balanced, but you still get a lot of taste. So all of these flavors come together to lift it up. Harmonious but rich and satisfying. It's really well made by master blender Lars Öberg, and he really is a master blender, because you do get that heavy but not too bitter taste. It has some acidity, maybe from the Spanish tobacco as well, to help it up along with the berries. So it's all of that together with a bit of chocolate notes. There's no smokiness as such. I don't get too much saltiness at all. The nicotine is provided in this one. It's not crazy high, but it's satisfactory. The snus is really soft. It sits there really well because it's a single cut snus. It sits better than any ground snus. So there are other heavy snuses on the market, but they're never as harmonious as this one because it still has a lot of taste. So if you're looking for a specifically gin forward snus, because you hear about the collaboration with Hernö Gin, you might be disappointed. It does not taste of gin, but it helps up the rich, bold tobacco in this one, which is really harmoniously balanced. It does not taste like Göteborgs Rapé at all. It has its own specific taste that is very close to the 16. And now I know about the aging potential of the 16, so I'm expecting that this will get even greater in a few months' time. And I would say I probably underrated the 16 because it was a little bit shy in the beginning. Currently, I think this is the best snus on the market. Is it worth the money? Well, just like with the fine wine, you get a little bit more and you pay a whole lot more. So it's up to you whether you want to try the best that's out there, really. To me, it's worth it, but yeah, it's not cheap at all. But it's a great snus, one that I will enjoy for several months. I won't use it all up in one go for sure. So right now, my favorite snus on the market, I'm going to give this one a 9.5 out of 10. Could it get better than this? Well, maybe put some rum in it, maybe that would work. But then again, the thing with this one is because it is held up very much in the background by the juniper berries. So it freshens it up. Maybe a rum snus could be too dank. I don't know, I haven't tried one of those yet. But this one, it's all about the balance, but still rich, bold, lovely tobacco. It's not too bitter either. It's just works on all levels. Lovely snus. So hope you enjoyed this review, guys. If you did, please give a like to it and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you in the next review.